Welcome back to Brands Hatch, where the conditions are looking distinctly British, distinctly familiar if you've spent time at this circuit today, or indeed any time in the past. It's not quite sunny, it's not quite wet, thankfully, but what it is American Speedfest 11, always a highlight of the annual calendar here at Brands Hatch. There are many reasons why, and you're looking at one of them. The grid walk here is always among the busiest of the season, among the most exciting for our fans. So many people walking down there towards the cars and the stars of the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. And I like that system that Jack Davidson's got there with all the armbands. That's pretty cool. Everyone doing a little bit of extra mile work for their fans here this weekend. The American Speedfest is always a huge occasion when the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series heads over the channel towards the UK. A big fan base here, established and grown by the American Speedfest festivities. And the drivers will be working hard here, signing autograph after autograph, and possibly getting talked to by Andre Viegold as well. You saw there Martin Dubeck. He is on for a very interesting day potentially here at the Brands Hatch Indy Circuit. He's on the front row here in EuroNASCAR Pro, starting from second on the grid. When we go racing later on in EuroNASCAR 2, he is our pole sitter. So 2 front row starts today for him. Qualifying was a hard-fought affair as always. Drivers like this man Ryan Vargas were not quite able to get into the top 10, but they were very close. Others were in there by just a matter of hundredths. It is down to hundredths around this tight circuit. You saw there Ryan Vargas and his critical path security Chevrolet Camaro. Now what I want to know is the story of that Mets jersey that's on his bonnet. That's an interesting one. The fans continue to work their way down there. We did briefly see Andre on camera. He's already on a mission to talk to some drivers, but we're just waiting to start off with him in a few moments. Hopefully we'll go back there. Yes, we will. Andre is with Martin Dubeck, who appears to be in the middle of signing a very long contract. No, wait, autographs. Okay.
No. I think we can go in here for a very short time. It's really hard to catch the drivers, but I found Martin Dubeck at the moment signing the autographs. How are you feeling?
Nice. It's always nice to be here. Lots of people, so it's great. Good weather. I hope it'll be no rain, but it's always nice to be here. It's a nice track. Lots of fans, lots of fun. So it's nice.
All right. Thank you so much. Keep on going. I tried to get the cameraman with me, and maybe we can catch another driver because it's quite hard to get the people here involved as the drivers are really busy signing the autographs. We see Vittorio Ghirelli over there. It's his signature move to be at the fence every time. So excuse me guys, can I just get in there for a short interview? Thank you so much. Vittorio, pole sitter, how are you feeling?
Yeah, it was a good lap in quali where we had good pace. Let's keep it up and try to get the win. It's very nice to be here with so many fans. It's really a great pleasure every year.
It's always you on the fence, so you have a very exclusive view on the people coming here for the grid walk. How is it feeling as a race car driver, seeing masses of people coming here just to watch you race?
It's very emotional. It's very nice. Hopefully we give a good show for the fans, you know.
All right, grazie mille. Thank you so much. Back to you, Adam. I try to get some more drivers. Thank you.
Yeah, good luck with that, mate. It's looking a bit feisty down there today. Lots of fans down here, of course, for our grid walk, and American Speedfest 11 is always considered to be one of the trickier ones for poor Andre down there on the grid. Of course, there's a lot of fans down there, not perhaps as much room as they would like down there. And that's also the case perhaps for the circuit as well. It's the shortest road course of the season, the Brands Hatch Indy Circuit. measuring in at a mere 1.2 miles, but it's a 1.2 miles that is awash with challenges. The circuit is treacherous and technical, and we see some brilliant racing among the EuroNASCAR machines each and every season. Of course, we've already spoken to the front row of the grid, and that front row is the two championship leaders, EuroNASCAR Pro Championship leader Garelli, but we'll talk about that again in a second because Andre's got another driver. Good job.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's not only the EuroNASCAR Pro, but also the EuroNASCAR 2 drivers here. Sven van Laren from Belgium. How are you enjoying this event so far?
Well, it's very difficult not to enjoy it. If you see the crowds over here, it's just amazing. It's the best event you can imagine.
On the sporting side, qualifying for you, how did it went?
Well, not too bad. I was in the first group. I was at that point P7. Afterwards, in Group 2, there were some more faster drivers, but I'm not unhappy. So, yeah, looking forward to the race this afternoon.
All right, thank you, Al. Thank you so much, and have fun here. Thank you. Back to you, Adam.
I don't recall hearing from Sven before. Cool to see him on this broadcast. He'll be racing later on in EuroNASCAR 2. Of course, he's in that 54 car from Cal Racing. He'll also be driven by Gianmarco Ercoli, the defending champion, who starts on row 2 of the grid. Max Lanza signing some autographs down there by the looks of it. At least it's Max Lanza's card, so I hope it's him signing them. Yes, it is. And a few drivers taking pictures as well. And it is a really cool atmosphere down there. I've done quite a few grid walks over my time, but doing this one in 2022 was crazy. Speaking of crazy, he's got two drivers at once. Andre, you're on a mission.
Do you see me here? Yes, okay, you do. So Paul Gifford and Patrick Schober with me. We start with you, Paul. A decent starting position for you in EuroNASCAR Pro. Are you happy so far?
No. I'm not happy after P3, but yeah, we will catch them. I hope I could pass P2 at the first turn because I'm at the inside line. So yeah, for now that's the plan, trying to be P2, but not destroy the car. So if I see that it's too tricky, I will not go in. And as I saw on the data, we have a really good pace for this weekend. So we will see if we can stay at the back of Vittorio and even make a little battle, even if it's really hard there. And yeah, so the objective is to gain more places.
All right, thank you so much. Merci beaucoup. Let's go to Patrick. You're an NASCAR 2 driver, so you can enjoy a little bit the event, the atmosphere during the grid walk, but later on it's going to be you against the others, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I enjoy Brands Hatch a lot because of the fans. Also, the track is really amazing down into turn 1. It will be hard. I have the same starting position as Paul, so I'll just watch him, what he does, and I'll just copy him, yeah.
All right, thank you so much. Vielen Dank. Back to you, Adam. I try to get the next one.
I like that. Very matter of fact. I'll watch him, I'll copy him. That's not only a sound strategy, it's also a pretty strong endorsement from Patrick Schober in his faith with his teammate Paul Gifford. Good luck, cameraman. Going through a busy section of the fans at the moment. Of course, this is part of our regular season, as it's known this weekend. Same applies, of course, to the one-off oval race in Ben Ray at the end of the month. So at the moment, a race win is worth 40 points. A second place is worth 35. Third is worth 34. Fourth, 33, so on and so forth, down in increments of 1 from there. When we go into the playoffs later on in the year, it's suddenly worth double points as well. So towards the end of the season at Oschersleben and Zolder, things do get even more intense in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. They also have drop scores to use as well, 2 drop scores to use before the playoffs. Ariana Casoli is in a cutout. Let's go to Andre.
Yeah, thank you so much, Adam. Something new in an interview right now. Ariana, you're enjoying the Brands Hatch event?
I love it. There's a lot of people. It's the best place to be today. It's amazing. have you seen the flow of the people coming? It's a river. It is unbelievable, as always.
And how is it to drive those cars on this track?
It's challenging, but it is cool. You will see a nice race, I think.
All right, thank you so much and enjoy this event. And yeah, maybe I get some nice pictures here, Adam. See you later.
Thank you.
Oh gosh, you never fail to surprise me, Andre. Great to hear from Ariana Casoli. She'll be racing later on as well, of course, in EuroNASCAR 2. We saw her in qualifying earlier on. I can't help, I'm a pessimist, I'm British and it's the weather. I can't help but look at those clouds and wonder. 21 minutes and 50 seconds until the countdown to command, and well, it's not looking unthreatening, I think that's fair to say. The other matter, of course, is whether or not it's going to be potentially affecting the EuroNASCAR 2 race as well later on in the day. That could be a matter to consider as well. You see there the Luxembourg flags up there, the Luxembourg flags. I imagine that's where the 50 car is. The 33 car, sorry, is with Andre.
Thank you so much. Luca, I need to test your skills in predicting the weather because Adam is looking at the clouds at the moment and he says, I'm British and I'm not 100% sure it stays dry. What do you think?
I don't know. Clearly, I don't know. I will start with the dry setup, I think, with all the grid. And we will see what happened during a race meeting. For sure, I think they are 40%. I mean, the probability to have a rain during a race. But I don't know exactly if it will be the big or a soft, or I don't know. So we will adapt in consequence, and we'll see.
What about the car? What about the setup? You were in qualifying. It's a solid starting position for you. So what do you think you can do in this race?
I'm here to try to win. So I will use 100% of the capacity of the car, to overtake. And we are with Ulysse, my teammate, on the third row. So you secure the third row for the team. So we have the same pace with the right setup, and we'll see what's happened also at the front. We saw that since Valencia that there are a lot of degradation about few cars. So the race will be long with 36 or 38 laps. So we'll see what's happened, especially also with the weather, as I told you.
All right, merci beaucoup. I tried to get your young driver, okay? Yeah. So stay with me, please. I'm just photobombing at the moment to get you. Yesterday you were on the track walk before free practice and you said to me first time. Now you were for the first time at that track. How was it?
Brands Hatch is incredible. Yes, the practice went through P14 and this morning it's a good feeling with my car, P9.
Decent.
Yes. The race, it's over.
All right, thank you so much. We will see you later in EuroNASCAR 2. So enjoy the event and have fun. Back to you, weatherman Adam Weller.
Anything out of my mouth regarding the weather is pure speculation. That was Florian Richard then, as well as Luca Lasser on the 33 car with Andre Viegold. I'm interested to see with that many fans whether Andre takes the lucky dip and tries to speak to a member of the Great British public before the end of the grid walk. It's always a risk, is it, what he's going to take? 18 minutes and 35 seconds until the countdown to command is given, and there is Claudio Remigio Capelli. The best beard in motorsport is going to go racing later on, of course, in EuroNASCAR 2. Vladimir Osiortis was the only driver that qualified in Group 1, the back half of the championship standings, to make it into the top 10. I believe, is this our chief flight officer, Andre?
Yes, it is. The commentator already introduced you. So, Mamba Smith here with us from NASCAR in the US. Is it the first time for you to be here at EuroNASCAR at Brands Hatch?
Yeah, this is my first time at a EuroNASCAR race. This is amazing. The vibes are high. I'm excited. I had to show some love, man. I had to come out, show my support.
What about the comparison? US NASCAR events this What are your first thoughts?
So my first thought was I didn't realize how many American cars were going to be here. It was amazing. There's Dodges, Chevrolets, Fords, everything is out here. And second is how many people are out. The passion for NASCAR is here. I love it. And this looks just like a race back home. This is amazing.
To be honest, our cars are not that loud like the NASCAR Cup Series cars, but still, how was it to see them on a road course like that? It's a roller coaster here, right?
Yeah, this place is amazing. I've never seen it before. So I was watching from the tower and seeing the leverage change, and the legend cars are out here and everyone's having a good time, and the drivers are good. Next year I might have to bring my helmet though. Next year I might have to come race. I was supposed to race this one.
Okay.
Last minute changing, but you know.
This is something very interesting for 2025. So maybe we see him next time in a racing suit. So back to you, Adam. Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother.
He's an Arca Menard Series top 10 finisher, is this man. So he knows what he's doing behind the wheel of a car. Dylan Mander-Smith, I have no doubt that he will be fast if he gets the opportunity to go NASCAR Whelen Euro Series racing. I felt the hype as well. I can see why he's got the position of Chief Hype Officer. That's cool. He'll be along then. I like that. Bringing the helmet at some point. If we'll never see Andre Viegold in a race car. I'm just musing on things now. 16 minutes and 20 seconds then until the famous words are given by Dylan Mander-Smith. Great to have him along with us this weekend. And the countdown to command is always, of course, a honour bestowed upon only the best in motorsport. We've had some very good deliveries of that line over the years. You will note there's one car that hasn't come out onto the grid. That's the 69 Team Blake-Molen car, and it's not the first time that's happened. They do seem to wait a little while before the car is taken out onto the circuit, so that's hopefully not the sign of anything wrong. The car is just there, and that's a very good one. Good job, Andre. Let's go back down to you.
I'm here with my Italian friends from Car Racing, Roberto Benedetti, but we have to talk to Gianmarco Ercoli because you're the reigning champion in EuroNASCAR Pro. You got already a Brands Hatch crown in the past, but Vittorio is very, very fast. How do you want to beat him?
Yeah, the race is long, don't worry. This morning, the qualifying, I doing a little mistake who cost me the fourth position, but the race is possible change a lot. It's important the lap for tomorrow, and now I move step by step with the correct mentality for the championship.
All right then, grazie mille and have fun in the race. Back to you, Adam. I think I stay here. It's a nice place.
If it was sunny, that would be the perfect shot, my friend. Very close, very close. Everyone taking in the pre-race in their own way. Some are relaxed, some are focused on that fan engagement. Speaking of fan engagement, some people are even starting to pop up with their own merchandise. Not only those autograph cards we saw, but some, like Ryan Vargas, are now showing up to the circuit with their own T-shirts. The Ryan Vargas European Tour shirt is a very cool piece of kit if you like your classic style NASCAR design. That kind of 90s, early 2000s vibe. It's a bit of a throwback tee. It's very cool indeed. A busy boy, actually. He's also released or launched a new business, Driven, which he's going to be working hard on over the next few months. Driven activation and marketing. A lot of these drivers do also work full-time in business in addition to their racing efforts, and a lot of those young drivers also try and find their way to contribute to the sport by other means as well as their racing talents. A few of them, for example, work with sim racing teams or sim racing hardware firms. I've known a few people who simultaneously race and sell racing cars at the same time, which is rather cool. There's your 69 car heading out onto the circuit then. So the Team Blake-Molen machine is out there in the hands of Sebastian Blake-Molen. Good luck getting to your grid slot, I must say. That's going to be a matter of sitting and waiting, I think, isn't it? Andre, what's going on down there?
Okay, I try now something new because the grid walk is ending and therefore the people are coming back here. So I try to get some information from them. Let's start with you. Just one question. Describe the American Speedfest with one word.
Mega.
Mega, all right, thank you so much. Enjoy. Excuse me, do you have any second for me? No, they don't want, okay. One question, anybody? Live on stream? No, nobody, okay. They're shy. Man, they're shy. But I try again. Can somebody describe me this American Speedfest with one word?
Can I describe what, sorry?
The American Speedfest with one word.
Oh, it's brilliant. Yeah,
brilliant.
It's brilliant.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you. So I get one more. Can you describe this event with one word?
No.
No. Do you need more?
Do I need more?
Do you need more words to describe it? Do you like it?
Yeah.
All right, that's one word. Thank you so much, guys. All right, it was a try, Adam, and I'm going now to my commentary position and join you. So, see you later.
Oh, Andre, I'm so sorry. Oh, dear. Well, we got a few words out of them. I must say, narrowing it down to one word is always risky with the British as well. We're a colourfully vocabularied people. Oh, that was delightfully awkward. Wonderful. We've got 11 minutes and 11 seconds until the engines are fired. As you alluded to, Andre, they are making their way now, the spectators, from the grid to their viewing positions, and that does also mean Sebastian Bleekemolen can get the 69 car down there on the grid. And we will be racing very, very shortly, of course. Once that command is given, we don't mess around. Formation lap and then racing. Sven van Leer has been busy signing autographs. The marshals are ushering the fans away, but they're getting one last opportunity to interact with the drivers. And having previously held a season ticket here at Brands Hatch, I can tell you, this local audience, they'll meet a driver randomly in an autograph session, and then that's it, they're locked in for the career. We're going to follow you, we're going to watch you anytime you're here at Brands Hatch, we're going to cheer you on. You can really form kind of relationships with these fans over time. And of course, a lot of these fans here at Speedfest are devout fans of US motorsport, devout fans of all things NASCAR, both in the US and here in our NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. You can see Paul Giffreau getting into the zone there in the foreground of shot. Some others still very much trying to fulfill their obligations to the fans. That was Liam Hasemans there signing many an autograph. Hollywood Liam Hasemans, of course. Always a popular man. He's doing fairly well in the championship. Of course, he was a race winner at Valencia, but he's had mixed form, or at least mixed luck so far this year. It's Vittorio Girelli that is our championship leader in EuroNASCAR Pro at the moment. Andre Viegold, I imagine, is somewhere among those fans heading towards Paddock Hill Bend. It's always such a weird feeling being just a few minutes before the race and walking on the circuit, especially on the walk down when you're just approaching the grid. It's very surreal in all the best ways. And we look forward to seeing these cars uncorked in just a few moments. Qualifying was a very impressive display from, I'd say, Martin Dubek, the MVP of qualifying, given a double front row achieved for him in the two categories. Second place here, first place in EuroNASCAR 2. But a lot of impressive performances. And a lot of impressive metal as well beyond the circuit. Dylan Smith said it himself a few moments ago. More American cars than you could really anticipate, given you're in the UK. My first time coming to a Speedfest I remember walking from the main gate down Colin Chapman Way and being blown away by seeing the Smokey and the Bandit Pontiac Trans Am, then a legion of Corvettes, and then Mustangs, and just, school buses, all of it in one fell swoop. It's rather an incredible experience, and there's a lot going on beyond the circuit as well. You've seen in a couple of shots in the background the kind of fun fair setup they've got. They've got live music, an ever-increasing live music roster, which kind of is growing in tandem with the popularity of country and western music here in the UK. Country music in the UK is suddenly really on something of a boom. Some of these English country fans aren't from Nashville, but they still sing like they are in a live audience. There is the 69 car finally making it to its grid slot. The marshals have deployed the MSV ambulance to try and let people know, we've got to move you guys now. And the fans are making it back. They're going to be hard pressed to get them all up there in 6.5 minutes, but they'll do their best. Of course, the marshals are always very diligent in their efforts here at the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. I believe we might now have the anthems playing, if I'm not mistaken. Apologies for the talking over the beginning of the US anthem. Don't always get all of the audio back to the commentary position, but I'll tell you what, we're going to have a lot of audio shortly, because in less than 5 minutes these cars will fire into life. At least theoretically, they've got to get all these fans off the circuit in the next couple of minutes. And you see the fans making their way up. With the MSV crew working hard to make sure we can get this race started at the right time. It's going to be an intriguing race, this one, I think. There's obviously the spectre of Vittorio Garelli, who at this point is feeling like a dominant force in this one. Martin Dubeck with his first ever front row start in EuroNASCAR Pro, incidentally. Thanks, Razor, for that information from the media truck. And that is a very good achievement for him. Of course, beyond Dubeck, there is a lot more of a challenge for Garelli going on behind as well. Plenty of fast drivers there. You look at the likes of Ercole, and you know that they're going to fight him every inch of the way. Hasemans, Dauenhauer, all of these drivers could potentially be knocking on the door of the podium or the win by the end of this one. Paul Giffreau, of course, as well worth mentioning him in that conversation from the second row of the grid in the number 3 RDV competition car. Team and driver growing as one. And what about the hometown boys, the likes of Jack Davidson, Victor Neumann, who's French but very familiar to the UK racing scene. That's a great shot. I appreciate whoever put this camera up at the Paddock Hill Bend grandstand this weekend. That really has filled up since qualifying this morning. It's a hot ticket. And the time for signatures and photos and conversations is almost at its end. We are missing another driver further back on the grid. That looks like the car next to the 43. So whom would that be? That would be Armetta. Fabrizio Armetta is missing from the grid. So that's an interesting point as well. We were talking about the Club Motorsport drivers and how impressive they've been this season. 1 minute 40 till the countdown to command. That car will not be there on the grid. That's a huge shame, especially if Fabrizio Armetta doesn't get the race started at all. Maybe he will start from pit lane. Given he's qualified 20th out of 24, that wouldn't be a huge loss if he did start from the pits. But yes, one of the Club Motorsport cars is not there for the time being. I think it was being worked on between quali and race, so that could be something of an explainer to that one. Fans still making their way off the circuit. Usually after the countdown to command is given, the formation lap begins almost instantaneously. I think we might need a minute or two this time around. Nonetheless, Gianmarco Ercoli and the rest of the grid are now in their cars. And our chief hype officer, Dylan Member-Smith, is down there at the front of the grid, ready to give the command. In 20 seconds, 24 V8 engines will fire into life. A symphony of hundreds of cylinders, signifying the beginning of the good bit of any race weekend, and that's the racing itself.
Are you ready?
That man has an upper register. That was impressive. The engines are fired into life then. The last of the fans have just made it off the circuit on the way up to the Paddock Hill Bend gate. They'll shut and secure the gate, and then we'll be rolling on the formation lap. Perfectly timed, as it turns out. The fans are now making their way out onto the circuit. Good news, Armetta's car is rolling down the pit lane as well, so we should have a full quota of 24 cars in this EuroNASCAR Pro race. I've just been watching the festivities, the pre-race festivities, seeing what's going on beyond the circuit itself as well. Andre, you are in the midst of it, for better or worse. Tell me, how's it feeling down there?
Yeah, it's just amazing to be down there and experience a grid walk like this. Brands Hatch is really something special. Every time we're here in the UK, the people are flooding the grid, and it's just amazing to be part of this American Speed Fest, the 11th edition, and now I'm ready to off this first race of the weekend.
Yep, 2 formation laps here, of course. That's worth noting given the short length of this circuit. It is 2 formation laps before we go racing for 38 laps of the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. At a minimum, of course, if there is a safety car, we can add the laps we lose during that safety car period. It's going to be a very, very exciting race. I have no doubt about that. The cars are rolling. We'll now go through the grid for you here. It is Vittorio Garelli on pole position for this one. Martin Dubek on the first row with him. Row 2, Paul Giaffro and Gianmarco Ercoli. Luca Lasser and Ulysse Delso on row 3. Row 4 of the grid is Liam Hasemans alongside Vladimiros Siotzis. Thomas Tuffel and Tobias Dauenhauer round out the top 10 ahead of Crusonis and Davidson. Then it is Ryan Vargas in the 30 car in 13th place. Sebastian Blakemolen alongside him. Maserati and Lanza on row 8 of the grid. Dombrowski and Neumann on row 9. Row 10 of the grid is Romagnoli and Armetta. Strickler and Kenko Miura, row 11. Dario Casso and Frederic Perrier bringing us down to 24th place. The formation lap 1 is ongoing. Formation lap 2 will begin in just a few moments. Of course, for Vittorio Garelli, this is all about showcasing his skills once again on yet another of our circuits and further extending that already fairly healthy championship lead, over 20 points clear at this stage of the season. 7 points clear. I'm mixing up my EuroNASCAR Pro and my EuroNASCAR 2, my apologies. So Vittorio Garelli only 7 points clear of Gianmarco Ercoli, my apologies, but he's right up there at the sharp end where he wants to be, and that's because of car performance. Mark Goossens, Liam Hasemans and Paul Giaffro, your top 5 in the championship. So a very young top 5 as well, broadly speaking, although Mark Goossens, of course, is a very, very experienced driver. Sadly, a driver that's not here this weekend either. So Goossens, winner of the Formula 4 Festival here at Brands Hatch over 30 years ago, sadly not back with us in Kent this time. I believe he's got some driver coaching commitments elsewhere, but I suspect we'll see him back before long. The cars are in 2x2 formation. We are about to go racing in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. Will it be Garelli that shows his skills, showcases just what a partnership he's got now with PK Carsport, or will the venerable pairing of Dubek and Hendricks Motorsports 7 Mustang claim a EuroNASCAR Pro win on the day that they get their first EuroNASCAR EuroNASCAR Pro front row? We'll have to wait and see. We've got 38 laps to shake everything out, and it's going to be a thriller at Brands Hatch. We are underway and racing for the first time this weekend in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series at American Speedfest 11, and it's Garelli that leads the way. It's Paul Giaffro who pushes through to second place. Dubek now under pressure as well from Luca Lasser, who's looking to the inside. The inside row is really the place to be. Off the line through Paddock Hill Bend, as we can see, Dubek has been swallowed. Gianmarco Ercoli is now trying to fight to stay in 4th place, but he's lost it to Luca Lasser. Some grass being kicked up as everybody tries to find a position through the first few corners of the lap, already on the verge of completing lap 1 of the race. Through Clearways and Clark they go, and it is Garelli that leads the way. From Giaffro, they're already a few car lengths clear of Martin Dubek. Lasser 4th, Ercoli 5th, Delso 6th, Hasemans 7th. But the real big gainer on that start is Sebastian Blakemolen. He's moved up 5 positions from 14th to 9th. Amazing stuff. 14th to 9th is a big leap through the order on the first lap of the race. He was on the inside line, I think. In fact, no, he would have been on the outside line, so that's even more impressive. Paul Giaffro is right there with Vittorio Garelli then. Garelli with the Frenchman for company. These two felt like championship favourites coming into the season. Giuffreau joining EuroNASCAR Pro midway through last year and claiming his first win in the category on his way to the EuroNASCAR 2 Championship. Vittorio Garelli yet to win a EuroNASCAR Pro title. Of course, he spent 2023 very much as a championship contender in EuroNASCAR Pro, and the final hurdle at Zolder proved to be one that was a little bit too steep to clear. Had an issue in the very last race of the season. But this combination of he and the 24 car, Garelli and PK Carsport, has been very strong so far this year and is manifested with that championship lead, which would arguably be even bigger without a few trials and tribulations through the weekend so far. He had a bit of a compromised run of it in the Valencia weekend, where he had a problem in race 2. Of course, my maths wasn't failing me after in regard to championship points, because he did have a lead of over 20 points. However, that did get sliced away a little bit by a 20-point penalty for a parts irregularity in scrutineering checks. So that's the reason why his lead is only 7 points, because there was a penalty applied. That was detailed on EuroNASCAR.com if you want the full minutiae of what went down there, but the scrutineer is picking up on something and he did get penalised for it. So that in part explains why the lead is a mere 7 points in the championship for Garelli. It's not even a mere 7/10 for Garelli in the race though at the moment. A huge train of cars running in tandem at the moment. Jack Davidson running just outside the top 10 in 14th place. Victor Neumann side by side with Roberto Benedetti as well, and Thomas Dombrowski having a go to the inside as they approach Surtees Bend on lap 5 of 38. Nice move from Dombrowski in the Blake-Molen car. Funnily enough, Fabrizio Armetta, who I saw returning to pit lane as the race began, he is out there, he is running, he's last, but he's also got the fastest lap of the race, 49.322, so he's hustling the 55 Club Motorsport car. That was very tense stuff there in the mid-pack. That was Chrysonis having a go at Downhauer. Tobias Downhauer down to 11th place, and Thomas Chrysonis moves up into the top 10. Chrysonis got a good run there out of Paddock Hill Bend and had to do quite an abrupt lane change to take the inside into Druids Bend. Vladimiros Tsiotsis keeping an eye on the rear bumper of the promotion car. He's now looking to the inside line himself. Can he make the move here into Paddock Hill Bend? He's got the run. He's just about got the inside as he kicks up the grass. And with the inside line should come the position. Yes, Tobias Downhauer appears to be struggling in this stage of the race. Down to P12. Expected him to make some positions from the fringes of the top 10 on the grid, but that's not been the case so far. So it's Garelli that leads the way by 0.737 of a second. Giuffreau in second place, Dubek third, Lasserre fourth, and Erkeli fifth at the front of the order. Yet to see any real surprises beyond Blake-Molen's brilliant start in the first lap of the race, but this is a long queue of cars at the front of the pack, isn't it? Garelli leading by 0.8 of a second, and then it's 3.7 seconds covering the top 7 out there on the circuit. So that is a very close battle here for the front positions. Dubek still holding on to third place despite Lucas Lasserre's early attempts. Gianmarco Erkeli running top 5. He wants another podium. He wants to try and really take advantage of the points penalty from Vittorio Garelli. He sits second in the championship, of course, does Gianmarco Erkeli. He's on 128 points. Goosen's not here on 124. And Goosen's taking this as his drop round. Throw there very wide through Druid's Bend. He can't afford to do that too often. He's lost touch there with Vittorio Garelli. Now that could be critical for Garelli's race because Dufro is now really out of his sight, or not out of his sight, but at least not immediately on his rear bumper. I think it's better to say that Garelli is out of Dufro's crosshairs, and that means that Garelli can just focus on building that gap now. And Dufro, I think, is going to be more focused potentially on what's going on with Dubek and co behind him. Erkeli looking very racy behind Lasserre as well. We're on lap 10 of the race here. Already 10 laps into this 38 lap race, and some interesting scraps going on further back as well. Tufel in 8th position, so this is kind of our second queue of cars around the circuit. Tufel from Blekemolen, from Grossonis, from Tiortzis, from Dauenhauer. So they do seem to be breaking off into packs here. It's a bit like Tour de France cycling. Jack Davidson also leading a bit of a queue as well there in 13th place. He and Max Maserati, the two UK flag drivers in this race, running in tandem. But Tufel is slowing down. Thomas Tufel losing positions in very sharp order here. What's wrong with the 34 Race Art Technology car? He peels it off the circuit but then spins on the grass. Tufel, I think, was having an issue with drive. Looked like it just wasn't accelerating anymore, and then he spun it on the grass, facing the wrong way at the bottom of Paddock Hill Bend on lap 11 of the race. Is this when we see a safety car? Let's see. Sebastian Blekemolen now leads the queue then, with the absence of Thomas Tufel. And Grossonis wants to try and make a move on him as well. He's already gotten past Tiortzis in this race. Grossonis really stamping his authority on this one at the moment, really showcasing what he can do. He's another driver who'll be familiar with the Brands Hatch Indy circuit. He'll have raced here in junior saloon cars several years ago. A Greek racer who got his start in British motorsport as well. Still green flag shown on the top of the timing screen. Local yellows down there at Paddock Hill Bend for 34. It's not directly in the firing line, so they might just cover it under local yellows for a while until they're confident that everyone has seen the car. It's fairly close to the surface of the road, but it's not directly in the firing lines. They might try and leave it there. We'll see what the decision is. It's lap 13 of the race. Full course yellow has just been declared. Full course yellow out on the circuit. So everybody slows down. Have to adhere to speed limit now. And they have to wait until they're given permission to go racing speed once again. They'll be driving below 2,000, or they'll be driving at 2,400 RPM around the circuit here. They'll be careful to manage their speed and to release the full course yellow at the right time. There's Thomas Tufel's car being recovered. There is a recovery area just beside where Tufel's car came to a halt, as you'll now see. So this is going to be a short FCY. Pirelli, I think, may have been possibly a little bit slow to the punch on the full course yellow, because his last lap was a 1 minute 14.724. The last lap for Duthrow, a 1:19.370. The last lap for Dubek, a 1:21. So I think our leaders may have been a little bit fast on the buzzer. We are now back underway, and once again, as we saw actually in Vallelunga, Garelli has dropped off and made sure that he doesn't gain an advantage. He definitely made up some time though. Dubek, Lasser, Erkeli running in tandem there in 3rd, 4th and 5th place. Erkeli once again looking racy on the rear of Lasser. They really haven't shifted during the full course yellow at all. That's exactly where Gianmarco Erkeli was pre-full course yellow, right on the bumper of the 33 car. We are on lap 15 of the race then. Not quite half distance in this one just yet. Rapidly approaching half distance, and just getting word that it is raining around the circuit. That could be a story. I did wonder. I was looking at those clouds and gaining flashbacks to some of my past adventures here at Brands Hatch, and sure enough, I'm hearing rain. We'll find out whether or not it's heavy rain, whether or not they think they may need wet tyres at all. Just sprinkles at the moment, I'm being told by Andre Vigold, so that is one to keep an eye on, certainly. Sprinkles they can get away with, but it doesn't take much to need to migrate off a slick, especially at a circuit as treacherous as the Brands Hatch Indy circuit. I think it's looking very wet down towards Surtees actually. That doesn't look all the way dry to me now on turn-in. They all take the corner with fair gusto. I saw Vittorio Garelli has the windscreen wipers on as well, so yeah, potentially rain could play a part in this race then. It's lap 16 now, now lap 17 as we cross the line. And you can see the rain on the camera at Paddock Hill Bend. I don't think this one is staying dry, ladies and gentlemen. Be ready for safety car procedure. Safety car is out. That's just been declared on the official channels. The safety car will be put out there. And I think that's because it was starting to be a bit of a liability for these cars to be on slick tyres. Now, anyone who follows NASCAR racing knows that it's quite a physical process getting these cars off of one tyre onto the other. And this is not the NASCAR Cup Series. There is certainly not a pit crew waiting to do it in 10 seconds. We saw there Tobias Downhauer was damaged as well, so I wonder if this is a reaction to the rain or whether there's been an incident around the circuit. We haven't seen one yet, but Downhauer has damage. So safety car is out. We've started lap 18 of the race with the safety car. Getting a look back here at the start of the race. Paul Giffreau got the opportunity to launch to the inside of Dubek. As the race began, he moved up to second place, but Garelli took the lead 2 and 3 wide further back in the field. Of course, Sebastian Blakemolen, as we alluded to at the time, had a very, very good start. Thomas Tuffel, unfortunately, the cause of the full course yellow a few laps ago. Yeah, that rear axle just locked up on him, didn't it? Tuffel slowed on the main straight, on the Brabham straight. Just about got it through Paddock Hill Bend, but then the rear axle cried enough. Hopefully we get to see that car back out in EuroNASCAR too. That's his primary campaign this year, and a campaign that he's doing very well in as well. We're just on half distance in this race now. We begin lap 19. You can see that the rain continues to fall. So then, let's talk you through the potential scenario here. If it remains dry enough for them to go racing on the slicks, they may well just run this under safety car for a bit and send them back out there again. But I'll quote directly from the rulebook, passage shared by Gianluca from EuroNASCAR. In case of a race starting in dry conditions and coming to wet conditions, the race director may decide to deploy the safety car, which we're seeing, or potentially the red flag, to enter all cars in pit lane to give the opportunity to mount wet tyres. The following procedure must be applied. All cars must follow the safety car to enter pit lane and park at their pit lane location, 45 degrees nose in. Race control command, teams will have 5 minutes to proceed to tyre change. At the end of the 5 minutes, the pit lane will be open. Cars must go out in the order communicated by race control to the spotters. So what that effectively means, if it gets wet enough that we definitely need these wet tyres, they will put the race under red flag, they will send them into the pit lane, and from there they will have 5 minutes to change the tyres, but there's no opportunity to gain positions by being quicker on the guns, on the wheel guns, because they will go out in a prescribed order from the EuroNASCAR officials. So that takes away the expensive task of making sure that you've got a full-on dozen-man team ready to do a quick service in the event of rain. Of course, pit stops aren't a regular factor in NASCAR Whelen Euro Series racing, so there's no point really having a team of ex-college football quarterbacks or anything like that. That's what they do, of course, in the United States, a big pipeline of college athletes into NASCAR teams. So then, we're on lap 21 of the race, and Vittorio Garelli is your race leader. Dufro second, Dubek third, Lasser fourth, Ercoli fifth, Delso sixth, Hazeman seventh, Chrysonis eighth, Blake-Molen and Siortzis rounding out your top 10 at the moment. The Brit pack, Jack Davidson and Max Maserati, are 11th and 12th respectively, so they sit just outside the top 10 at the moment. So then, how long will we be under safety car? Will they continue the race on the slicks? It's not looking wet enough to me for wet tyres right now. I thought it was getting that way, but it's not right now. So the question becomes, how long do we wait? Well, not much longer, because the safety car is set to be in this lap. Single file restart as opposed to 2x2, so that's going to be communicated now by the spotters. It seems the rain has left the area, so we can go racing on the slicks. So Garelli now leads the field. The Tesla will disappear away silently, and then it will be Garelli to fire up the V8 and once again try and build a gap over Dufro if he possibly can. Cars are rolling towards the start line. We go racing once again in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. And look at that, Dufresne gets a really good start. Not necessarily what Garelli would have wanted from that. It might still be a little bit greasy out there on the circuit. They're going to have to be careful as this race fires back into life. Lap 23 of the race. They're 2 and 3 wide once again here. Lasserre looks like he's gotten past Dubek. He's got the inside line for Graham Hill Bend. He takes third position. Luca Lasserre in the 33 car, then up to third. Dubek down to fourth. Ercole fifth. Delso sixth. And it is Vittorio Garelli that leads. But I thought for a minute that Dufresne was going to have an opportunity down into Paddock Hill Bend, to be honest. Had a very good launch off the line as the race resumed. Garelli now has that all-important couple of car lengths. Dubek, meanwhile, trying to get his podium back as Luca Lasserre sits in front of him. Already being quite bold, taking all of the curbs despite those greasy conditions. And Dubek looking to the inside of Lasserre at Druids Bend. Got a good run off of turn one. Not quite able to make it work, though. He's looking seriously racy, the Czech driver. But he was slow through Graham Hill Bend to avoid Luca Lasserre. That could put him into the clutches of Gianmarco Ercole and indeed Liam Hasemans, who has moved up to 6th position. So Hasemans has got past Ulyss Delso, Grassonis, Blake Amolan, Siortis rounding out the top 10, and Max Maserati is up into 11th place. The race distance has now been upgraded to 40 laps. We begin lap 25 with 15 laps to go, therefore. So the laps that we lost during the safety car have now been added, or at least a couple of laps have been added to the race distance. We need to make sure you don't go over the time. So 2 laps have been added. There were more than 2 laps on the safety car, but we still get some additional racing action. And Kenko Miura has had an accident there. That's a lot of bodywork down at Druids Bend. I think that's simply going to have to be picked up. Debris on track in turn 2 is the bulletin from race control, and yeah, that's no exaggeration. Quite a lot of number 74 car is down there, unfortunately. Still some spit on the camera lens from that rain shower that was brief and sprinkly. Everyone going too wide through turn 2 on this occasion. Quite wisely, the spotters will have let them know the situation. That leading queue is once again on display, albeit now with even more than 7 cars. The entirety of the top 10 is now in one long train after that safety car period. I understand the marshals have managed to clear the track, which is absolutely amazing. Good job, marshals, to continue this race unabated then. Dubek right on the back of Lasserre. He'll be disappointed to have dropped out of the top 3. Would love to try and get a double podium today across EuroNASCAR Pro and EuroNASCAR 2. Of course, he starts on pole position in EuroNASCAR 2 in just a couple of hours' time. Garelli, though, under considerable pressure as well from Paul Dufresne, and if it's still this close in a few laps' time, you can expect a lot of the friendly discretion to go out of the window. Maybe the odd dive bomb or two before the end of this 40-lap encounter around the Brands Hatch Indy circuit. Dubek looking to the inside. Those are the lunges I was talking about. Contact in turn 2 is under investigation, so whoever tagged Miura may face a penalty for that. Garelli, Dufresne, Lasserre, Dubek all fire through, Surtees and McLaren. most common overtake here at the Brands Hatch Indy Circuit is often set up here, coming out of Clearways and Clark, a good run down the Brabham Straight. Then often you'll see drivers sacrifice Paddock Hill Bend itself unless they get a particularly good run, and they'll sacrifice Paddock Hill Bend for a good exit out of the corner and then try and get the inside line for Druids. Now Jack Davidson has dropped behind Ryan Vargas. He's also got a little bit of damage on the Lux Motorsport number 21 car, unfortunately. So Davidson, who'll start from the third row in EuroNASCAR 2 later on, is unfortunately a little bit wounded at the moment. Ryan Vargas up into the top dozen then as a result of that. Victor Neumann, Thomas Dombrowski, both looking racy on the rear of Davidson. Paul Giffreau, once again a car length or two off, but it's only ever a car length or two since this restart. Garelli's not been able to find that second or so worth of buffer that he had before the full course yellows and the safety cars. Of course, it was a mistake here at Druids, Giuffreau running wide, that kind of gave Garelli that little bit of cushion around the dozen lap mark. And those mistakes don't come often from Giuffreau. There's a reason he's a championship winner. Incidentally, Giuffreau is currently leading in the junior trophy classification ahead of Hasemans and Chrysonis. The leader in Challenger Trophy at the moment is Roman Yoli, ahead of Dario Casso and Max Lanza. Car number 48, Nick Strickler, has been given a 5-second penalty for avoidable contact, so perhaps he was the other party involved in that moment with Kenko Miura. Here comes Vladimiros Tsiotsis. He's looking to the inside of Sebastian Blakemolen. Blakemolen, who had a spectacular first lap, gained 5 positions and has then been in stasis ever since. And they end up losing a place here to Tsiotsis, who's looking a little bit racy towards the end. Maybe he's saved a little bit more tyre. Of course, these tyres have already been through qualifying and Superpole in EuroNASCAR Pro, or at least Superpole if they've been in the top 10. They will also be the same set of Hoosiers that they race in the second race of the weekend on Sunday. So a long way to go for these tyres yet as Tsiotsis looks to the inside of Blakemolen. Again, Vladdy is not quite at the same form, same momentum as he had in 2023 as of yet. He would love to try and get on the podium this weekend. He, I think, rather likes this Brands Hatch Indy Circuit, but at the moment he's got a rolling roadblock in the form of Sebastian Blakemolen. It's pretty obvious that Tsiotsis has more pace, but he's got to find a way by. There are very few easy overtakes here at Brands Hatch. It's possible to pass by all means, but you've got to craft it well. Vargas has closed in a Maserati, we saw there as well. We might see some shuffling there on the fringes of the top 10. Dubek has a go to the inside of Lasserre. That was a little bit brave. I was worried that he was going to leave his nose in there. This is now a battle for second place. Giuffreau under a lot of pressure from Lasserre, and Dubek making all kinds of shapes in the rearview mirror of the Speedhouse Boss's car. Gianmarco Ercoli involved in that as well. Of course, all of this battling is beneficial to Garelli. He can continue to focus on his task while the others fight each other. He'll be willing, Luca Lasserre, to try and make a move on his countryman Paul Giuffreau, if anything. Torrio would be more than happy to see a brilliant battle for second place. Ooh, Dubek there with a bit of a snap through Paddock Hill Bend. I think it might be starting to sprinkle a little again. Giuffreau turns into Surtees. He was about 0.7 of a second off the lead on the previous lap. He's got about 0.2 between himself and Luca Lasser at the moment. There has been a switch for 9th position, by the way. Vladimir Osiortzis did get past Sebastian Blakemolen. We saw that there was a threat of that happening, and the threat has become reality. Into the pits has gone Max Lanza as well. Armetta also has ended up with a visit to pit lane. Of course, the driver with the fastest lap of the race will become our pole sitter for race number 2 of the weekend, and at the moment it's 6th place man Liam Hazemans with the fastest lap of the race, a 49.071. We're lapping in the high 49s at the moment, and if anything, Gorelli is looking like he's starting to struggle a little bit here. Geoffroy, Lasser, Dubek and co are a little bit closer to the rear of the 24 car than they were previously, as Kengo Miura makes sure everyone gets past him. Now, was that only a momentary issue for Gorelli? Did he make a slight slip up? 5 laps of racing left to go, and certainly lap 35 of the race, we're now on lap 36. Lap 35 of the race was a slightly off-pace one for Gorelli. He was the only driver from 1st to 8th place that was over 50 seconds in lap length, so he put a foot wrong somewhere, maybe trying to get around Kenko Miura, and that's put him into the into the clutches here of Geoffroy and potentially Lasser as well. We saw the bulletin on screen regarding the 88 car of Max Lanza receiving a 5-second penalty. He's already running 20 seconds, so he's not going to lose too much from that. It's 4 to go here at the Brands Hatch Indy circuit. 3 to go this time across the line. Oh, and Vargas making a move on Max Maserati. He gets himself up to 11th place. He was already leading the battle for 11th across the line, but I think they were side by side all through the first sector of the circuit, and Vargas is ahead by the time they get out of Druids Bend definitively. Oh, and Strickler's had a moment, and that is a lot of loose bodywork from the various dramas. He's now on slippery grass as well, and hopefully he can recover that nicely without jeopardizing the leading pack, which is barreling towards him. 3 laps to go. Let's see, where is Strickler's car? He's out of the way, thankfully. But Gorelli still in immense pressure here again. This is now the point where they're going to start making dives. Oh no, Vargas into the gravel trap. Ryan Vargas had just made it himself up into 11th place. He's now down to 16th, unfortunately, with that. Vargas made possibly an error. I'm not too sure, though. Maserati was only a couple of tenths back, so did he fall or was he pushed? Gorelli, Geoffroy, Lasser, still the order. We are on the penultimate lap of the race. This is lap 39 of the race. The graphics are a lap behind, so this is the penultimate lap. Gorelli, Geoffroy, Lasser, your top 3, but I think that 2nd and 3rd place may swap before long, because Lasser is really shadowing him at this stage. Gorelli has once again got a car length. He'll be relieved, no doubt, by that. And we now begin the final lap, the final tour of the Brands Hatch Indy circuit in EuroNASCAR Pro round number 5. Gorelli, as long as he keeps it clean, should be able to take this victory. But what about Geoffroy? What about Lasser? What about Dubek? Can Dubek try and claim a podium, regain his podium, of course? Having started from 2nd on the grid, Geoffroy getting a little bit loose there. I think he got a little bit of a nudge from Lasser. This is the final lap of the race. Strickler with the bodywork damage evident on his car. But it will be Gorelli that rounds Clearways and Clark for the final time. He crosses the line to claim yet another win in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. The dominance of PK Carsport and Garelli continues here in Brands Hatch, and Dufresne holds on to second place. Lasser takes third, Dubek fourth position. Jan-Marco Erkli rounds out your top five. Liam Hasemans with the all-important fastest lap. That will gain him pole position for Sunday's round number 6. That's a big story there. Hollywood Hasemans on the front row for Sunday. That is interesting. Delso 7th, Chrysonis 8th, Siortis 9th, and Sebastian Blakemolen rounding out the top 10 ahead of Max Maserati and Jack Davidson. Vargas eventually recovering to 15th place after his moment at Paddock Hill Bend. Well, it was always going to be an interesting one, and we certainly had a feeling the rain might play a part. It didn't play quite as big of a part as some may have expected. Everybody making their way back to the pits now as we get a look back at this initial start. There's drama though, unfortunately. The first of the pauses in the race, the full course yellow, just about a dozen laps in. A spin with seemingly an engine issue for Thomas Tuffel, or at least a drive issue of some description. Race resumed, but shortly thereafter it started to sprinkle around the circuit. The clouds overhead made themselves known to an extent as Garelli got the race back underway. Dufresne was initially challenging Garelli, but they then have Lasser and Dubek on his boot lid. They were never far apart from each other at the front of the order in this race. Ryan Vargas, looks to me like he went off on his own there, getting a longer look at the shot. Certainly Maserati was close. Unfortunately, Vargas's hunt for the top 10 came to an early end. But there's no end in sight to Vittorio Garelli's pace. And Nick Strickler coming to a halt there in the Marco Stipp Motorsport 48 just after the line. Meanwhile, Vittorio Garelli makes his way by to head towards Victory Lane. Victory Lane stationed just outside the Kentagon here, the restaurant opposite the Paddock Hill Bend grandstand. Strickler's car in the wars. Of course, he'll be back in for EuroNASCAR 2, as will Dubek, as will a few of our drivers, Chrysonis as well, double dipping across the two categories. So the race has concluded here, the first EuroNASCAR race of American Speedfest, and the first time that we deploy this rather exciting Victory Lane in the epicenter of the Brands Hatch crowd. As with the grid walk earlier on, this is going to be a busy one. They all want to cheer on the man they were getting autographs from just a few moments ago in the grand scheme of things, Vittorio Garelli.
Safety car, you had to win that race multiple times. You made sure you still brought home the victory.
It's an incredible hour or so of your life winning a EuroNASCAR race. You start the hour signing your autographs, you then race for something like 35 minutes if it's a relatively clean race. And then you end up in Victory Lane with this swarm of people, live TV cameras on you. It's quite a whirlwind sensation, I'm sure, but it's one that Vittorio Garelli is becoming very, very familiar with here in EuroNASCAR Pro. There have been 5 races so far this season. This man has won 4 of them, and that means that even with a 20-point penalty, a penalty docked for a technical infringement, is still leading the championship points and will be doing so by a greater margin. It is very impressive stuff. Andre Vigold giving the signal in just a few moments. Our cameraman will be there. We will then start to celebrate the festivities here. Vittorio Garelli will momentarily climb out of his car to celebrate his win. There's the signal from Andre. Here comes Vittorio Garelli. He's going to run out of room for those stickers before the end of the year, I think. What a dominant combination this is. Garelli, PK Car Sport. Team get a hug. As he celebrates yet another victory. High fives. A lot of happy people for Vittorio. Here you go, let's make some noise, he says. Come on. He is very happy with this effort. It seems this year there's a little more confidence in the man as well. It feels like he's come out of his shell just a little bit as these successes keep coming. Is that Anthony Kumpen? Yes, it is, isn't it? That's good to see. I don't think we've seen him this year on a broadcast. Mr. PK Car Sport. He knows a thing or two about race victories, of course. A few penalties being handed down through the order. Tobias Downhauer got a penalty for contact under safety car. You'll remember that he ended up with a damaged car under safety car. And so it sounds like the contact actually happened during the safety car procedure. So that's netted him a 10-second penalty, and that will drop him down the order a little bit further than he would like. In fact, that may drop him as far as 20th place. Yeah, so that's not great for Downhauer. Your junior trophy order. Paul Giffro winning junior trophy ahead of Hazelmans and Chrysonis, and Dario Casso claiming the win in Challenger Trophy. He got past Romagnoli towards the end of the race, I believe. And Frederic Perriat rounding out the podium. Rehydration from Garelli. We'll hear from him in a short while. For now, it's the Hendricks Motorsport personnel that are gathering to congratulate their driver. Of course, Garelli moving over from Team Blaker-Molen. Right, well, I think we actually have our closest podium finish of the season. A second between the top three. I've just noticed that is an incredibly close top three in a very dramatic race. So to hear Andre down there now, we heard a little bit from him, so I think in a few seconds time he's going to collar Vittorio Garelli. He does so now, and we won't waste any time. As soon as they've lined up that shot, let's go down to our race-winning driver. We'll hear from Andre and Vittorio right now.
Thank you so much, Adam. It took us some time. It was an amazing race for you. A little bit of controversy with the rain coming in, then safety car restart and all the stuff. So how do you feel?
Very happy for the win. Yeah, it was a tough race, I have to say. The rain didn't help and the free was very fast, so I had a lot of pressure throughout all the race. When it started raining, I had the big moment in turn one, but yeah, didn't want to take many risks, so I lost the pole for tomorrow. I think I'm starting P2, but it's a very good weekend so far. We were leading the practice session, first in pole, super pole, then first in race one. Let's try to repeat ourselves tomorrow. It will be a good show for sure, and yeah, hope the fans had fun, you know.
From the outside it looked incredible, and especially the battle between you and Paul in front. From your wins in 2024, was this the toughest one?
Yeah, for sure. This was very, very hard. A lot of pressure, but I did no mistakes. I managed to bring it in P1, you know.
All right, you know what time it is now. Here's your winner sticker. Place it on the car. Congratulations, grazie mille. Vittorio Garelli.
Thank you, guys. The other side.
So Garelli, other side, he says. He's run out of space already, and we're 5 races into the season. This has got potential to be a logistical issue. In fact, no, he's going to put it with the rest of the stickers. Okay, that's good. I like that. That's neat and tidy. It's 4 stickers on the wagon for Vittorio Garelli this year. The wins keep tallying up for the Italian racer. Points lead keeps growing as well. Great stat here from EuroNASCAR's Razor. He says Liam's pole tomorrow, that's Liam Hazeman's, will be the first pro race where Garelli hasn't started from pole position all season long. That's an illustration of the dominance from Vittorio this season. Andre, by the looks of it, is going to have a chat, I think. That's with Anthony Kumpen. We'll go down there in a couple of seconds and hear from the former driver of the 24. Very happy team boss. To you, Andre.
Thank you so much, Anthony. You must be very proud. Vittorio is dominating EuroNASCAR Pro. Another win. Okay, the car is moving right now. All fine, I guess. So, how are you feeling?
No, it was really good. You know, it was a tough race with some drizzle, a little bit of rain in the middle of the race. So, but he did a great job. He managed to keep the first position. It's not so easy on this track, you know. You cannot escape, you know it. So you have to manage the tires, you have to manage everything a bit. But he did a fantastic race. We won starting P2 tomorrow. We wanted to have pole, but okay, if you're starting in the front, it's more difficult to gamble on the time. So, but you know, another win. It's what we wanted.
About the event, in the past you enjoyed it from the driver's seat. Now you take a seat in the garages and maybe have a little bit more time to look around and see what's going on. How are you enjoying it from that perspective?
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's one of the best racing events in Europe. So they're doing an amazing job here in Brands Hatch, EuroNASCAR. So I really enjoy it. It's a very special event.
All right, thank you, thank you so much. Anthony Kumpen, back to you, Adam.
That's a strong recommendation and not one I can really argue against as well. American Speedfest is a real calendar mark in UK motorsport at this stage. It's great to hear from Anthony. The interviews keep on coming because I see that Andre has now picked up Thomas Crusonis. Down to you again.
Yes, they're coming now through the tunnel to the podium ceremony. Thomas, it was a tough race for you, but I saw you making one position after another, some great overtaking maneuvers, so you must be happy, right?
Well, I am happy with the pace because this weekend I had help from a legend of the series. Alan Day is helping me, you know, with telemetry data, everything with the car, and we managed to improve a lot in the lap time, so I owe him a big thanks for that. So finally we had the pace to follow the leader cars. We were in the group of the guys in front, but Brands Hatch, you know, it's tricky. If there is no safety car, no full course yellow, it is very difficult to overtake. I took a lot of times behind Sebastian. Finally, I passed him, I made the gap, and we finished P8 from P11, what I start P12, so I don't remember, but yeah, all good. So another podium in Junior Trophy, another top 10, as I told you in the beginning, consistency.
Consistency is key. Can you do me a favor later on, maybe on Sunday, if you see Alon and you can send him to me, to the cameraman, so maybe I can get him in front of the camera?
Yeah, no problem.
All right, congratulations so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Back to you, Adam.
Always a step ahead, Andre. I like it. Good stuff. So then, the podium ceremony just a few moments away. We've heard from a few of our drivers. We might get a couple of more. But the ceremony itself will begin in the not too distant future. Fans are still there, ready to see the podium ceremony, as well as, of course, the team personnel. 24 crew is an ever more obvious sight, and there's Liam Hazeman's into the shot. Liam and Andre, over to you.
That's into the picture. I think the podium is going on, but tomorrow.
Looks like we lost connection down there, unfortunately, with the interview. But we are about to get started with our podium, so I suppose we're shifting over to that. Sorry, Liam. Hope to hear from him tomorrow. Of course, he'll be on pole position for Sunday, so that I'm sure we'll hear from him on the Sunday pre-race. For now, though, the overall podium ongoing. Leclerc to the third step, second step of the podium for Paul Dufro. But here comes the man of the hour, the man of the season at the moment. It's Vittorio Garelli. There you go, the national anthem of Italy playing once again. Vittorio Garelli getting very used to standing atop a podium and hearing that. Of course, he's been a champion in EuroNASCAR 2, he's been a champion in single-seaters. This year is dominant, unlike we've seen from him at any other point in his career. And look at that trophy, big trophy for Garelli, which he holds aloft. He could do some damage with that thing. It's bigger than his head. Excellent stuff. And now we get the chance to spray some champagne. Yep, rum. Need Garelli back up there now for the photo. Lucas and Paul awaiting him for the picture.
We want to make sure that we're getting a photograph with the crowd in the back. So get the trophy. Vittorio stands in the middle. Everyone in the
Chris Dawes, the circuit commentator,
this is what we want.
making sure that traffic is directed there. Of course, a couple of more podiums to bring you the Junior Trophy, the Challenger Trophy.
So well done to the top three there. Hopefully I'll grab a word when we finish this one with Pirelli. Although he may well be running off, but we now move on to the next podium.
Of course, the next podium, Junior Trophy, will be Chrysonis third, Hazeman second, and Paul Giffreau in that Junior Trophy classification. Giffreau and Hazeman's really running away with Junior Trophy, but I must say, Chrysonis really is coming into his own now. He's been in EuroNASCAR for some time, but the pace now between he and Marco Stipp Racing really is coming on song. Came into EuroNASCAR back in 2019, has been a regular since 2021. Thomas Chrysonis takes the third step of the podium.
In second place in the juniors, car number 50, Liam Hazemans.
Liam Hazemans takes the second step of the podium. He's also racing a Lotus Elise GT1 this year. I say that not because of envy, but something else. It's envy. Paul Giffreau on the top step of the Junior Trophy once again then. In the number 3 car. Of course, both of those drivers also looking to fight for the overall standings. And I mean, if Chrysonis' momentum continues, if he can start to have a podium car underneath him before the end of the season, when we go playoff racing in Oschersleben and Zolder, who knows? He may well be a top 5 championship contender in the overall standings as well. The pace looks like it's there, particularly during the races. So maybe it's qualifying that's the slight missing piece at the moment. Straight on to the Challenger Trophy podium then. And Frederic Terriat takes the third step of the podium. Riccardo Romagnoli, P2. And Dario Casso takes the top step, one of the great characters of EuroNASCAR. I was told all about him when I first took on this role in EuroNASCAR by a commentary colleague. He said, "You'll love Dario's character, he's something else." And certainly he is. Really great guy, Dario Casso. And top 3 in Challenger. Pose for the pictures. That is the final podium for EuroNASCAR Pro, but of course we've got more racing to come in the form of EuroNASCAR 2. It's only going to be a short break now between the next race and now. A little over 2 hours time, 4:30 UK time, 5:30 Central European Summer Time for race number 2 of the day, the first race of the weekend for EuroNASCAR 2 here at the Brands Hatch Indy Circuit. It's another front row lockout for Hendricks Motorsport there. Let's see if they can claim another 1-2 at the short and sharp Brands Hatch Indy Circuit.